Welcome, everyone, gamers and adventurers and wastelanders and stuff. I'm Caedo Genesis, and this is the PIPCAST 3000, a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, where we talk about video games and Fallout, and sometimes, often, seldom, most of the time, have a Fallout-related topic. I'm joined by my co-hosts, BADCompanySarge.
Howdy.
And Jared of Jared Gaming.
Hello.
And I think before we get into the tip of the day, the comment of the cast, the news and junk, I think we should do like a quick do-over of what you guys do on your channels.
Oh, we make videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
so tip of the day now.
Yeah. Yes, and
Jared can go first.
Okay. Well, I do videos, as it was so elegantly put. More specifically, I do more traditional, like, Let's Play type video format of, like, indie games and more specifically, horror indie games. And I spend most of my time being scared and looking the fool for the scary stuff. Because I'm a big chicken. And it's funny. And yeah, sometimes I live stream, but mostly I don't. At least at the moment. But that's pretty much what I do, I guess. Do I need to list specific like places that people can find me, or are we just gonna like assume that they have that information, or that the information will be there for them and they can just find it?
it's all going to be linked down below.
Okay.
If
So, yeah.
if you're interested in watching Jared's stuff,
Yeah.
check it out.
Yeah.
And Sarge?
Yes. I live stream a lot now, actually. I live stream a lot of games.
Yeah, you do.
Multiple ones. I'm probably going to be live streaming Dark Souls 3 very soon, because I put a poll up and people want me to play Dark Souls 3.
Uh-oh.
So, get to watch me die lots. Everyone wants that. I also make character builds in Skyrim and Fallout 4. I do relatively short video essays telling game developers that I know how to make their games better than them, whilst also trying to be really respectful and praise them a lot. It's a nice balance. And I occasionally call the Fallout community toxic, and people agree with me, and I get surprised when they do. That's my channel.
It's because you have a very respectful manner about things, and usually it's easy to tell if you're being sarcastic, which is a good thing. If you were typing these things, it may be a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, tone of voice is a very important thing. That's like a bonus tip of the day. Tone of voice is a very important thing when it comes to communicating with people, and especially information.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I prefer calls at the very least when I'm talking about something important with someone. But also, our tip of the day is reality sucks. Play Borderlands.
Yeah.
And this is just a direct plug to our our Borderlands streams every Sunday that we're doing over on Sarge's channel. It's me, Sarge, Jared, all three of us, and Crazy Eyed Eddie, a friend of ours, playing 4-player co-op Borderlands 2. We're getting through that, and probably going to be playing DLC after the main campaign, because I may be tired of Borderlands, but I like playing games with you guys.
Yeah.
I will say, I think on the day this episode of the Bipcast comes out, we might beat Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
Right.
It's either today or next week we'll beat it, depending on like how much side stuff we do. And there's DLC to get on with.
While you're listening to this, probably in about an hour or so, over on Sarge's channel, we're going to be, doing the Borderlands thing. So you should watch that instead of listening to this.
I mean, there is a time change, so I have absolutely no idea when we'll be starting.
Yeah, same. I didn't really calculate that out, so It's an hour difference, some direction.
I mean, it might be at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah,
It might be 2 hours away.
I don't know.
Oh, I hate time.
Daylight savings is stupid.
It's so bad.
It's stupid when it's a week apart in two different countries.
It's 2 weeks apart, which literally means, like, America could delay it a week and England could push it a week forward, and it'd be at the exact same time.
Yeah.
But, no, 2 weeks is the perfect time to screw everything up.
Yep, we just want to confuse everyone. Cool, good. Anywho, comment at the cast. We've had this person comment before. It was a while ago, though, so... Sarge, you want to take this and reiterate what our topic was last PIPCast? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I totally remember that.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I just threw you on the spot.
I believe the term is throw him under the bus.
Yeah, I need to do a voice as well, which is a problem. Rose Graham says, the Bethesda published games on Game Pass overall were very solid, and the fact Xbox users can play all these in Game Pass is very mind-blowing. The Dishonored games can be very enjoyable stealth games. The Doom series is pure chaotic fun with a very engaging sandbox and enemy design. Wolfenstein and New Order and Old Blood are very chaotic and enjoyable shooters. Not sure about Youngblood. I sucked New Vegas off for the past decade, and what else do I need to say about it being my favourite game? I have a bias, I get it, thank you very much. Despite my own issues with Fallout 4, I can see many get sucked into the game for hours, and the loop the game provides can be very addicting, and I cannot deny the game can be very fun at times. It also has console mods, so that's a bonus. I have never been into medieval fantasy as a whole, but The Elder Scrolls is something I'm sure many will spend thousands of hours on all those games.
You skip price 2017.
I literally didn't see that line there.
Are
Man,
you me?
that game really
2 weeks
does
ago?
get looked over so easily. It's a genuine problem. Praise on there too.
Said it's an excellent immersive sim that allows us to think outside the box, and its sandbox level design. It's one of their favorite games. It's
Yep.
probably very important.
I'm completely blind to it. That is impressive.
All right.
I genuinely did not see that entire line until you pointed out that it was there.
That's fine.
Man,
That was
poor
me all of last PIPCast, so. And I made a lot of the outline. Like, I put the things in there to read, and I didn't read it. But that's okay. Thank you, Rose Graham. That is comment number 2 from you, because it had been a while.
Yeah.
So thank you for that comment. If you want to be a comment of the cast, you can, I don't know, leave a comment.
That's what it
That's
takes.
usually how it works.
Yeah.
Usually contributing to something we talk about, or rant about, or complain about.
Yay.
Any of those things. You can dogpile on the same topic we're going for, or go completely the other direction, and, I don't know, insult Sarge.
Yay.
Because he wants that for some reason.
I
don't know.
do.
We had a few news things. I'm sure we missed something. I didn't really Google much. It was more just stuff that I grabbed off of various sites that were passing me by and other gaming things that I watched throughout the last week or so. But I found out the BAFTA Awards happened, and Hades absolutely crushed, because Hades is amazing.
Yeah.
And got 4 awards.
Nice.
Surprisingly,
Good for them.
Game of the Year was not in one of the awards, but Hades got Artistic Achievement, Game Design, Narrative,
Best game. It
Best
got
game. Yeah, and Logan Cunningham, one of the voice actors, got Performer, because he voices Hades, Achilles, Poseidon, Asterius, Charon, and the Storyteller.
Does a lot of them.
That is a lot of them.
Everyone
He's
else nominated as well was nominated for one role.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is a bit like...
I think it's pretty special. If he didn't get it, I would have been like, "What's wrong with everyone?" Like, multiple roles in the same game. It's kind of a big deal.
And like,
Um,
there are some big ones as well. Karen obviously just kind of grunts at you, but all
Yeah.
the others have proper lines and an actual interesting vocal quality to them.
yeah, and you haven't tried it yet, Jared? Have you?
What, Hades?
Yeah.
I played it. I'm bad
yeah.
at it, but
Okay.
I played it.
Okay. Right. So I would like to suggest to everyone, I am not firing on all cylinders. I know I probably sound like that too.
No.
I would like to suggest to everyone who's listening right now, if you haven't played Hades, try Hades. It's art as a game. You need to play it. You need to try it. Just try it.
Yep.
Just try it. It's
a
a historic game, I think.
And it's, would you consider it an indie game? I don't know how big the company is that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's indie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another great example of indie games taking the world by storm and not a AAA title.
Yeah, man. As you keep saying, Jared, indie games are the future.
That's why I play indie games. That's why I do that. It's like, that's what's fun. That's what's good.
Yeah.
I think
I bet if you ever got into the guide space for indie games, there would definitely be an audience for that. So
probably.
just throwing that out there, just casually, just it's not like I don't know anything about guides really.
Yeah, well, it's hard to come up with a guide for where the game is only 15 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which most of them are. I mean, Hades is not one of those, but
No.
the majority of the indie games that I cover on my YouTube channel are like 10, 15 minutes long at most for most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I could make a comprehensive guide to like just games in general, but a specific game would be difficult.
Yeah, or it could be like a tips and tricks or something. I don't know.
I've thought about it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So, who knows? No spoilers. I don't know because I don't have any actual ideas. But
have either of you seen the next thing? Speaking of thinking about games.
Yes. Yes, I have. When you showed it, when you shared it on the Discord like a week ago or whatever, I saw it and I was just like, huh.
And I
That was
watched
literally
the
my
trailer when I
response.
saw the outline. So,
I-
Dark Alliance is a Dungeons and Dragons game coming out this year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing that stands out to me,
Mm-hmm.
so it came out like 10, 11 days ago, this trailer. Got over 4 million views, 2.3k likes, 439 dislikes. That is both an incredibly low engagement ratio for something with over 4 million views.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, it's a fair few dislikes compared to likes. Not like so much where it's like, oh god, everyone hates this game. It's just a bit of a weird ratio. Like, that is quite a few dislikes to likes. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. That just stands out weird to me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like the whole trailer itself, I don't know. It made me feel things not great. As a fan of like Dungeons and Dragons in general, and a lot of their games, I think was it you, Caedo, that we were talking about Neverwinter Nights, which I think is part of the D&D mythos and everything. But this trailer, it starts off with the most ridiculous thing. Like,
You should clarify that Neverwinter Nights is actually a good game.
we
know it's a good game.
That's what I mean. Like we
yeah.
were talking. There's a lot of really good titles of that world, and
Maybe we should add some context too. It is a D&D game, a D&D licensed game of some form. Dark Alliance is, because it's got Dungeons and Dragons over the top of it.
yeah,
But it is as far as I know, a either revival or continuation of the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance franchise, at least from what I can tell. It's the trailers kind of scream out of touch, kind of what Interplay was experiencing around the year 2000-ish. Because it's playing music that does not fit at all during the trailer.
I mean, I can see the vibe they were going for. Straight to hell, lots of demon-looking enemies.
Yeah, but is it gonna fit? That has yet to be seen.
I mean, D&D it's high fantasy. It's not Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
When
This
it comes
does
down
come
to
across much more as, like, fantasy Doom trailer.
Yeah, and the reveal trailer was so jarring. If you guys remember, they had like the cameras were set up on the ends of the weapons and stuff like that, where you'd see Driz like running around, but it was so weird. It was like the weirdest camera thing I've ever seen, and it was playing some sort of rock music track on top of it or something like that. I may be misremembering something, but I just remember it being really jarring and visually upsetting, and I didn't want to play it. We can be hopeful for it. It can go either way.
I mean, and when it comes down to it, it's just a trailer. It doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's by no means a death sentence for the game or anything. It's just
Yeah.
like, that trailer was fine.
just do another one and put something else in there, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't show off much of the game.
Yeah.
It feels like for a gameplay trailer as well. Like, you can tell there's combat in it, but they've done it without a HUD, so it looks more cinematic. They've got some actual cutscenes, got like some demons or ogres or whatever they could be playing guitars. It's for a gameplay trailer, the actual gameplay is very limited.
It looks like it's
give you much
made
of an
for the
idea.
2000s. I'm still sticking to that. I think it was they're trying to get those edgy teenagers to get all jazzed up for D&D.
And that's the thing that, I mean, there has, like, Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and I think it's still technically in early access. As a $60 early access game. I feel like it wasn't that well received. I mean, I enjoyed it to a degree, and I played a little bit of it, but I kind of stopped because it needed work, and
I don't know if I think it was more like there was just so much jank.
Yeah.
Like when it first came out, Dakoba, server moderator on my server on Discord, fairly regularly goes back to it, and I'm sure he can speak on this if he's listening to us too. Just what state the game is in now, where like at the beginning, I remember there being a lot of mentions of just wildly differing difficulties for combat and stuff like that, like everything killing you, and this is someone who's good at that kind of game.
Right.
Like he's been playing Pathfinder, which is notoriously hard.
Yeah.
When it comes to
D&D.
CRPGs, CRPGs in general. Yeah.
Okay.
That I learned the acronym is actually computer RPG, not classic RPG.
Ah.
So it's an all-encompassing type of thing.
Interesting.
Anyway, I get weird vibes from the Dark Alliance thing.
Yeah.
If we can circle back a little bit, because the original Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, you know what game also used the same engine? Fallout Brotherhood of Steel.
Ooh.
But that's like the best one, right?
Yep. Yep.
Most popular.
According to
loves
everyone
it.
who matters.
Yep.
So, and Fallout Brotherhood of Steel suffered from that as well. It was trying to get an audience where there didn't really seem to be one, like trying to get as much attention as possible from anywhere they could, and just trying to be trendy and hip with the kids, and also like needing to do brand deals in game to frickin' even support it with balls of guarana. So
What kind of a person would put like Mountain Dew or Monster Energy inside of their big, expansive Kojima style game?
I
mean,
know.
come on.
I know.
It's terrible.
Well, at least I didn't have to collect it. I could just drink it all the time. Also, I mean, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel is still a wonderful, terrible black sheep of the Fallout franchise. Should I just plug the playthrough that me and Kite did? I could do that. We did a playthrough. Also, watch the highlights. Probably more. It's probably be better to watch the highlights, to be honest, because there was a lot of just boring, repetitive bullcrap, and just dark areas. Like I cut out an entire chunk of that playthrough just because you couldn't see crap. Like it took place in like the basement 3 of an underground Deathclaw something cave, and it was just black and brown was the color scheme.
Yeah.
Not exciting at all.
Earth tones. Nice.
Yeah. Not great. It's gonna move on for that, I suppose.
You weren't lying when you said you were the king of segues, brother.
Yeah. You
I
got
know.
spot on today.
So amazing at it today. I feel like I should have like a martini on me or something. I feel kind of loosey goosey, kind of unusually relaxed. I shouldn't be. Something that's supposedly greatly anticipated just dropped out of the blue. Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods, the second DLC for Doom Eternal.
Well,
It just
Ancient
kind of
Gods Part 2.
Ancient Gods Part 2, yeah.
Yep.
It just happened.
Just like that.
The announcement happened March 17th, and they were like, hey, it's dropping tomorrow. That's pretty on.
I really like that.
That's pretty on brand. People like that. People like that. Bethesda's done that a couple times.
Yeah. You know what I don't like? 27 seconds into the trailer, before we get any, like, proper gameplay shooty stuff, we see goddamn jumping around and platformy things.
Oh.
I ranted last time about Doom Eternal. It's a game that I want to enjoy, but it goes just too heavy on the, hey, look, we've got a grappling hook, and here you can jump onto this thing, and then you jump backwards. Then you jump up, and you have to jump at this exact point, and oh, you have to shoot this thing, but jump over this wall at the right time, and that ruins it for me.
I will say
Sarge wasn't very much of a fan.
It's probably my least favorite aspect of it as well, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Like, Doom's really good.
Yeah.
Doom 2016 I loved. Doom Eternal, they seem to love the whole platforming, jumping about stuff, which I don't like. And it's a shame, because it is a really good game.
Yeah. I think I kind of get why. I mean, I think their kind of aim was to just make it this, like, non-stop, roller coaster, like, literally roller coaster. You're up, you're down, but it's too much.
I mean, the platforming just slows it down so much for me as well. Because I can't just platform easily straight away. I have to work out the route I'm going, then I have to line up the jump, and I have to slowly crawl up this wall so I get the top point to make sure I don't accidentally fall, and it, like, reduces the average speed just to a crawl.
Yeah. Yep.
But, hey, I complain about it enough. So what's good in this new one?
It looks really cool.
There's so much spectacle. I mean, you're riding a dragon. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's cool in any game. Yeah, Doomslayer riding a dragon, fighting somebody who looks like him, I guess.
Yeah, there's a ton of characters who look like him now. It's a whole narrative thing.
Oh, okay.
Which also, to be fair, I don't like that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Yeah. All the weapons look cool, like the character designs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, everything
There's a hammer.
looks really cool.
there's a freaking kaiju battle at some point, like a big old giant war. That, man, looks awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm probably not gonna play it.
No.
Yeah. I think I live.
If you have, at this point, before you jump in there, Jared, if anybody in the comments has played it, please tell us what you thought about the Ancient Gods Part 2 for Doom Eternal, because I don't know anything about it. I haven't played Doom Eternal at all.
I will say, it looks a lot better with a slight orange tint over the trailer. I say that because I'm wearing, like, my screen glasses right now, which give it an orange tint.
Ah.
And I just realised I've been watching it like that, and it looks so much better. With just a slight orange tint, it gives it more of a hell vibe. Whereas in reality, there's a lot of, like, blues in there.
It's a lot of blue, yeah.
Yeah. Where when I look at it, it's a lot of orange. Which is, like, fires of hell and all that good stuff.
Actually, it switches between blue and orange. Good and bad.
No, I just
Just
want bad.
and evil.
Just bad, please.
Oh, okay. Well, speaking of something not bad,
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
not. I mean, it's bad if you expected something to actually happen immediately. But Dying Light 2 finally got an update on its status, in the whole development thing.
yeah.
It's wait a little bit longer. The video is linked down below. That it had a kind of a cute start. It's the developers looking at tweets of fans that are just a little flying off the handles a tiny bit, being just clamoring for some sort of game called Dying Light 2.
Yep.
But the developers need some time. They did show like a really short, like 10-15 second clip at the very end of this of like sneak peek type stuff, but there's not really much to go on besides a new zombie that you get the back view of. But that's pretty much it. I'm really stoked for Dying Light 2. I don't know how many times I have to say that. That's like me and Elsar's game. We are going to play the crap out of it when it comes out. But I also know that rushing games is a really bad idea. We have witnessed this on so many occasions the past 5 years. So many. And I'm okay with waiting. I would rather have a polished game than a fast garbage.
Yep.
Fast garbage.
Then a quick trash. You know what I'm saying? Then a cyber junk.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I just to, if I could just add to that, like it's another really good example of again why I'm probably tired of saying it or hearing it. You guys are probably tired of me hearing or tired of hearing me say it. There we go. I can speak.
You're tired.
I can do talk. There's another good example of like indie games. I think why they do so well is that I feel like I can't imagine being a AAA. I would think that Dying Light 2 is considered a AAA title at this point. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be AAA. Yeah, definitely.
The expectation that is put on developers that make these AAA games it's got to just be suffocating. Like I can't imagine being a game developer for one of these companies when you've got the whole world breathing down your neck, and then you got games that come along like, good example we've talked about. Obviously, it's kind of a big deal, like Valheim or Hades. These are indie games that come out of nowhere. There was no expectations on these development teams, and they were able to do what they needed to do to make those games be as best as they could be. I just can't imagine what it would be. I guess my point is I can't imagine what it would be like to be a big title game developer in this day and age. It's got to be almost hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the amount of executive meddling that, tends to kill games before they even have a chance is so apparent in some. I mean, I'm speaking on like, the Avengers game, for example, the Anthem.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's time and time again we see it happen.
Yeah. And it sucks. It especially sucks for the developers.
Yeah.
Like imagining if you didn't even have, on Anthem's side, like if you didn't even have a direction until like 4 months before release or something like that. It was something absurd like that they just didn't know what they were making until really close to the end. And that would, I don't know about you, if I were a developer, that might cause me to quit entirely.
I don't know, it's, yeah.
I did find out about myself that I do work well under pressure, but that's too much.
Well, there's working under pressure, then there's there's working under just ridiculous expectations, and just it's got to be so stifling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's funny that they start like the Dying Light 2, those guys, they start off reading they start off reading the stuff about people being unhappy. It's like, I would much rather make a video about how great it is going to be and not have to focus on the negative to begin with, if that makes sense, if I'm making any sense. Anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah. It's just getting overhyped. Fans getting overhyped, and them being like, just wait, chill. Since we're keeping along with the theme with being chill, there's a roadmap.
There is.
Is that right, Sarge? About that game you used to cover?
Yeah, Fallout 76 got a full 2021 roadmap.
Yeah, buddy.
Woo.
Are we all at the same level right now?
Yes.
We are. This is going to be like the most boom episode.
Everyone should listen to this PIPCAST at twice the speed so that we don't sound so tired.
Go to 1.25 at least.
Yep.
It'll sound better. So what was covered in this little roadmap thingy, Sarge?
We've got 4 seasons. Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, and Season 7, as we know them in the real world. Oh god. Spring, Locked and Loaded, where we're getting camp slots. You'll be able to build like multiple camps in the world, which are like your own personal settlements. special loadouts, so you can make like multiple builds on one character. Some daily ops expansions, because daily ops has got repetitive, and like just some basic other stuff coming too. Summer is the actual interesting one, because Steel Rain shows up, which is like the conclusion to the Brotherhood of Steel storyline, which is the thing I'm actually looking forward to.
Oh, it is going to be the conclusion. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We find out how we're going to nuke the entire Brotherhood.
Ooh!
I kind of hope that's the ending, to some extent. It's like people complaining, no, the Brotherhood can't be there, there's no record. Okay, let's just nuke them. That'd be beautiful. That'd be so good. But they're also adding in some more legendary power armor and legendary crafting. And I think they did an AMA the other day, where it sounds like the legendary crafting will be the good kind rather than the bad kind we already have.
Oh.
It wasn't like 100%
Please.
Clear, but it sounds more reassuring than worrying. But
Like doing a little bit to actually fix the busted legendary system that burns people out on the game for some reason.
the thing that I hate more and more all the time. Yeah. And it actually sounds like they might be doing something very similar to one of the ideas I put in my old video, the legendary system is broken, here's how to fix it.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if they're doing it just yet, but it sounds like they might be doing something similar. So
We can talk about that more when we hit the Fallout topic too, since we're going to be talking about... Since we're going to be
complaining.
Elaborately complaining about things we don't like in Fallout as just I just said things. Man, I am so
Things,
specific.
But speaking about things people don't like, in autumn, which is called fall in America, do you guys ever say autumn?
I like autumn more than fall, honestly.
Is like autumn a commonly used thing over there as well, or is it just fall generally?
I think it's interchangeable. I think it's depending on where you live. Kind of thing.
Yeah, but anyway, at that time, private worlds are getting some changes. Woo! For all the people who still have Fallout First, which is dropping pretty much by the day, because people are getting bored because nothing's happened in 76 for a while. But yeah, apparently there's going to be like just basically settings you can put in your private world, and that's it. But that's good. That's something they should have. So private worlds will be better before the year is out.
Yay!
And then in winter, they're potentially making the RNG worse by adding in a 4th legendary star.
Oh no!
Yeah. Throwing in some aliens, because the Zatans are coming back in possibly a big way. And also cultists are having like a little event. Oh, and dogs. You'll be able to have dogs, hopefully by the end of the year.
Yay! It's a long time to implement pets. They better do it right.
They might.
They might just be living on your roof like Fallout 4. The Brahmin anyway. And Preston sometimes.
Yeah.
How else is he supposed to see those settlements?
That's true. That's true. He's got really good zooming vision, but he has to have the high ground.
That's because he's a synth.
Oh no! Spoilers.
I don't know. I actually don't know if that's true. I know nothing.
Let's pretend it is.
I know nothing about Fallout, so if it's a spoiler, I apologize. But if it's just a funny thing that someone said, maybe me, then yeah, I did it.
Preston's a synth. You heard it here first, maybe.
I just assume everyone is in that game. After a point, it's just like there's so many conspiracy theories and then, random components on people. It's just like everyone is. Anyways.
Awesome. Oh, cool. We have a lot to look forward to in Fallout 76. I'm hoping nothing goes catastrophically wrong. We've had some pretty good, clear, easy to play and do updates. What I'm mostly looking forward to is just the update to Melee. I don't know if that patch already happened or if it's going to be shortly.
I think it already happened.
Yeah, I want to jump back in the game and see how that works, because
apparently it's a bit better.
Melee players have been dealing with that since the beginning. Yeah. Myself included. I would love to hit things more than 1/3 of the time.
Is it better or worse than Morrowind?
Probably better, but not intentionally.
Oh man, I want to re-edit that for some Morrowind dice rolls. Just have the data feed from that game.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Speaking of data feeding it to hardware, there's a GameStop. There's a GameStop going to want to sell GPUs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That sentence may have made a little bit of sense. What I was trying to say is that GameStop is not just going to be selling games. They're going to try to stay alive by selling PC hardware, including GPUs. Because of how widespread GameStop stores are, this might be a good move.
It definitely can't hurt to jump on the bandwagon, considering how popular GPUs are, especially with like crypto mining and all that stuff these days. I would be interested to know if they're also going to manufacture them, because I feel like the shortages don't just stem from the different retailers that sell the GPUs, but the actual manufacturer. So I don't know how much of a stake, if it's going to be any better for, like, us gamers trying to get GPUs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They said that Game Rant, anyway, the one we're seeing this article from, is saying that RTX 300 or 3000 3000 series cards are already listed at GameStop's website. So that's good. That's modern. I have one myself. I enjoy it very much.
It totally hasn't messed up when you've looked at Mountains and Borderlands.
No, not at all. Why would it?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're playing with 3 other people who have worse graphic cards, and it's a really old game, surely yours will be doing the best.
Yeah. That's by default. My card just works better than everybody else's all the time.
Yep.
And nothing can go wrong. Even if that game is designed for several cards back and perhaps didn't anticipate the sheer power and majesty that is an RTX 3070. But it ran fine.
Yeah.
1 to 5 frames per second, but it ran fine.
I mean, I hear the human eye can only see 4 frames a second anyway, so...
Which human?
Everyone with these fancy monitors and stuff, they don't know what they're talking about.
Which human are you referencing, Sarge?
I don't know. Just the average one.
Man, reading is hard.
Yo.
Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Come on, someone help me with the next.
You've got this, Caedo.
No.
I believe in you.
I don't. I can't.
Of course, if you're some kind of mutant, you can probably see it over 60 frames a second. Especially if you're a biomutant.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's easy, Caedo. You gotta learn these. You gotta learn them.
Wait, you want to talk about? You did the segue beautifully. You should.
I did. I'm good at the segues still.
And
I
you,
can't do
like,
much else.
Kind of watched it with us yesterday too, so.
I did. Biomutant is a game that's coming out, and the fur doesn't look good enough. And that is the biggest problem everyone has. Nothing to do with pre-order stuff. It's that at 105 in the trailer, there is some janky looking fur that clips through stuff, but is just poorly mapped onto characters, but basically looks like it's had a blur effect put onto it, like a motion blur effect. It is quite bad. And people are mad about that. Definitely not mad about the fact that the entire class system is locked behind a pre-order.
Yeah. What was that? Was that a pre-order? And a class?
Yeah, the mercenary class is available if you pre-order the game.
Yeah.
The game apparently has a class system. We know because you can pre-order to unlock a class, but, obviously, mercenary class, I mean, that's just an entire playthrough's worth of the game kind of thing. So it's not that big a bonus.
Yeah.
It's just, you just have to pre-order the game if you want to basically play through in the way you might want to play through.
Yeah, and we know everybody pre-orders anyway every single time, as if they so much as glance at a game.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's not like we're putting this podcast out on a website where people can check reviews from multiple different sources, see gameplay and live streams to really get a good feel of games before they actually decide to put their money towards it. No, you have to buy games before they're out. Because as soon as they're released, they actually go off sale. Not a lot of people know that, but you have to pre-order games.
yeah,
Once they've released, that's all the copies gone. So they only ever make enough copies for the pre-orders.
and you have to pay $60 to $70 for all of your games, or you're not a real fan.
Yep.
Clearly,
Do I-
Jared, with your indie games.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, Jared, you're supposed to be buying multiple copies of those, right? You just buy enough until it goes up to $60. That's how it works.
Dang it, I've been doing it wrong. Thank you for setting me straight. I'm gonna go do that right now.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I'm interested in Biomutant. Go ahead.
I'd never heard of this game before. I didn't see the trailer till like just now. And to be perfectly honest, like it didn't really do anything for me. Like this particular, I mean, I don't know anything about the game. Maybe it's been in the works for a long time and everyone knows about it and everyone's excited for it. I know nothing about it, but just watching, and maybe that's the problem here. Just watching the trailer, nothing about it excites me. Nothing about it makes me want to play it when it comes out. It's just another kind of this kind of game. Maybe at the point where I'm at as a gamer. Like, this isn't what I'm interested in playing right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, doesn't really do anything for me. Just another hack and slash THQ Nordic game. I mean, come on. That's...
I mean, the website sells it as a new approach to battles from a third-person perspective. Which sounds very innovative to me. I mean, can you imagine playing a game in third person?
What?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
They should have gone the extra mile and gone second person.
Right?
Oh man, I love my second person shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
My SPSs, beautiful.
I just tried to view that in my head, and it would just be you looking at your character pointing at you. I think.
Yeah.
The whole concept of second person is actually really interesting. If you haven't ever done it, Google second person perspective. The fact that it is almost widely considered to be an impossibility in of itself is a very interesting. There's some really philosophical. Do it though. It's really interesting stuff.
I could come up with an example of like what second person is when it comes to reading and writing, because I have had experience in actually, at least in high school, getting to write a second person story and how much of a fun mess that was. So, like choose your own adventure books. You are yourself. It's essentially telling you what you're doing. And that's what second person is. Whereas third person is talking about, all the characters in third person by their name or by their pronouns, whichever. And then, of course, first person is me, self story, talking about myself. But yeah, second person, it's fun little concept. I don't know how it would work in a video game. I don't know if it even would.
Yeah.
But kind of fun.
I mean, you couldn't really do it as anything that looked like a first or third person game. Technically, I suppose there are second person games, like Zork and things.
Zork.
Is it Zork?
Old text adventure game?
Yeah.
I remember Zork.
Yeah, Zork.
Where it's literally
You do
just
this, you
typing.
Zork was you do this, you do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still similar concept to choose your own adventure, just in
Yeah, you're
typing
standing
text.
in an open field
Yeah.
next to the White House with a bit of front. There's a small box here.
Huh.
That's about as close as you can really get.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow, cool little. That's neat.
You guys didn't grow up with Zork?
No, I just told you I knew it was. Come on now.
I just Caedo. Jeez,
What?
Caedo. These
Come
young
on, man.
whippersnappers.
Hugo's
God.
House of Horrors was one of them.
Yeah.
Dangerous Dave, Battle Chess, Tetris, those ones. That's about as far back as I go. DOS. Speaking of going back and talking about things that we've been doing the whole time, there's a fun little piece of gamer article or listicle thing that I found.
Yeah.
Listicle.
Yeah, when they're talking about 9 annoying things that enemies in games should stop doing. And I think this was one of the, just like the writer's room, let's just offer what we think is just annoying when it comes to enemy mechanics and stuff. It was a fun little read. It's linked down below, and I guess we could read through the different things their writers put in.
Yeah. I'd say read through and say if you agree or disagree with them.
That's a good idea.
I've read through already, and I don't agree with all of them.
Okay.
All right, enemies who can teleport. Agree.
Agree.
Slightly agree.
I think it
Like,
depends.
not
Slightly.
always. I think it can be done well. I think the bigger problem is like enemies teleporting just very much at random. If they do it in some sort of pattern, I'm cool with it, because then it's just learning how they do it. If it's completely random and at any point they could just teleport away, that I'm not a fan of.
No, I disagree. I hate patterns. No, I actually do. And I'll explain.
Jared, you're disagreeing.
I'm disagreeing with Sarge for once, all right? Just calm down.
You're not yourself.
I need a Snickers. No. Like, I don't like patterns. Like, I don't... It's one of the... Like, my unpopular opinion is I don't like boss fights. I hate boss fights. I think we maybe even talked about this at one point in a PIPCAST in the past. I think that it's an archaic game mechanic, and hate me if you want. It's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it, so... But like boss fights is recognizing patterns usually. You talked about maybe playing Dark Souls 3. It's one of the reasons why I could never play any of the Dark Souls games. It's essentially just a game about fighting bosses, and I hate boss fights. So patterns, I don't like patterns. So teleporting pattern, it's the same thing. I don't like it, and I don't want to see it.
Bad. You wouldn't like Monster Hunter World then either, huh?
I played it once.
It's just a boss fight.
Yeah. Well, see,
That's
Monster
all
Hunter
of it.
World's different because you can play it with people. Things change when you can play games with people.
Okay.
Even boss fights, I can deal with it a little bit better. But I like unpredictability in my enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I disagreed with you, Sarge. Take that.
You did. Well done. I'm proud of you.
Well done, Jared.
Maybe some people will hate me now instead of you for once. You're welcome.
You've transcended.
I am now enlightened.
Okay. Well, next one. I don't have anything to add for teleporting enemies. Most of them are just annoying, and I don't like fighting them. Enemies who can set you on fire. I don't think I agree with this one.
No, there's part of it I agree with. The voice lines. They can be a bit much.
At Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands is a big example where you see it.
Well, what other sound are you gonna make when you're caught on fire?
I mean, it's just the fact that you get a lot of them, and it's constant, and it's just noise.
Yeah.
Constant noise.
Don't you remember before they did like the first couple patches for Borderlands 3? Oh, what's his name? The dude twin.
The dude twin.
The dude Calypso twin. What was his name?
Oh yeah, dude twin. That guy.
Dude twin.
Him.
Yeah. So he had a voice line glitch. If you used any damage over time on him, he would do like the damage over time scream, but he just wouldn't stop the entire boss fight. So it was just him going like the whole time.
You should be a voice actor, dude. That was good.
Thanks, thank you. My voice cracked pretty hard, but that's part of the act. Yeah, if the voice lines are kind of annoying, then that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. I think elemental damage does have its place.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does. I'm trying to think of any games where like being set on fire was purely detrimental and there was no way to get rid of it, but I can't really think of anything. Like, I could use Noida as an example where like fire and poison can just straight up kill you if you're not prepared. And Noida's a roguelike, really pretty hardcore simulated stuff game. I'm not describing it very well, but it has simulated elements too, which, if you've caught yourself on fire, if you jump into a liquid that can put you out, like blood or water, then you'll be put out. You'll also resist it if you're covered in that blood or water. So like it gives you the options, and you can carry bottles of liquid around with you. Like you can fill them up with water and just dump them on yourself when you catch on fire. The game creates opportunities to be smart about potentially being set on fire, because there's a lot of things that can set you on fire in that game.
Yeah.
Even you most of the time.
Especially you. Yep.
So if usually in games that have, something that sets you on fire will have some form of, thing to catch on with. Put yourself out.
I think for me, like, not necessarily just enemies that can set you on fire, but just being set on fire in general. I find that games since the dawn of time portray humans as these easily combustible objects. Like, I've put my finger in a candle and I did not instantly burst into flames. In most games, whether it's an enemy like shooting a flamethrower at you, or you just happen to walk into your campfire, like people don't just instantly combust unless there's a reason. Like, we're not kindling, we're people. Unless I'm covered in gasoline, it probably isn't gonna just like light me entirely on fire for like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That annoys me, I think, more than enemies. I think that there are some enemies where that makes sense. Like, if there's a flamethrower enemy, I mean, maybe that's the whole point of this. But like, yeah, I'm kind of like yes and no on this one personally. Like, I think Sarge said, like, elemental damage has its place, or was that you that said that? I can't remember who said it now.
I think Sarge said it, yeah. I want to lump the next two together because they're kind of along the same lines and from the same game. So, or can be from the same game. Enemies who taunt despite having no cred, and enemies with cutscene powers.
See, I agree with both of these. However, what I disagree with is the image that the article uses for enemies who taunt despite having no cred. So they show Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor and Orc on there, and those enemies actually give you like personalized taunts based on their own personality and interactions you've had with them before. And that's quite a cool way to do it. But I think like when you're playing Fallout and you've killed half a dozen raiders and the final raider's like, I'm gonna kill you, you suck, beep off, or whatever. It's like, yeah, you're obviously not.
Yeah. I think, well, they do that, if a lowly grunt orc kills you, they still get the taunt and then get promoted.
Yeah, but they killed you.
Yeah.
They deserve the taunt.
That's they get that cred. Yeah. But I lump these kind of in the same because I that kind of enemies with cutscene powers, all the orcs basically have cutscene powers that they can throw at you, especially in Shadow of War.
It's just them talking though.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of cutscene powers, it's hardly, your character lost the fight because cutscene. Right. It's instead, your character and everyone else in the game stood still for 10 seconds because cutscene.
Yeah.
But it kind of works with, like, Shadow of Mordor and stuff, because every time you come across a new dude, it's like, oh, look at me, I'm so strong, I'm gonna eat you. In that time, I would be, like, knocking an arrow and killing him. Like, you should have talked so long, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this really is good for, like, Metal Gear Solid, though. I mean, cutscene powers, I mean, come on. The whole game is a cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah, most of them. 5 or V, if whoever wants to say it a specific way, that one had the least amount of cutscenes. And it still had a lot of them. But out of all the Metal Gear Solid games, that one had the least.
Really?
Yeah.
What about, like, the originals?
Like 1 and 2?
I think those were more... Yeah, 1 and 2 were more like codec calls a lot of the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
2,
I guess if you include
2 had a lot
those,
more
yeah.
cutscenes, too. 2 was... He was always, like, pushing... Kojima was already all the time pushing the boundaries of both trolling his fans and cinematics. He's like, wouldn't it be funny if you played as Snake for, like, the introductory mission and then you had to complete every character the rest of the game? Boom, Metal Gear Solid 2.
There it is.
People love Kojima and I still don't get why.
So great. Yeah, so I agree with the enemies taunt and enemies with cutscene powers. Both those things are pretty annoying. Usually there's no full stop when I can talk about like another Metal Gear Solid game, Metal Gear Solid 3, that had like when the Cobra unit would introduce themselves, those were like the unit of bosses that would fight you, one at a time, obviously, so you could take them out each. The Pain, who had the power of bees. Not making this up. He had his little introductory thing where he would show you like what his powers were, and then you have to determine, like, it would give you a good view of the arena you'd be fighting him in and stuff like that. Like, that has an actual advantage. But also there would be like a mid-fight cutscene where he would hit a certain health value, and then he would like change up his fighting style. And I think that is fairly justifiable as long as it's not too overly long. Because if you die during that fight, of course you get to start over from the beginning, and you have to see that again. So if it's like just a short in-engine type thing where it's just like, oh, I'm switching to my Tommy guns that fire bees. Yes, also in the game.
Nice.
Then that's okay, as long as it's just a few seconds. But the bosses and enemies that have cutscene powers that are overly long, like 10, 20, 30 seconds, is a bit much. Mid-fight, that is.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Yeah.
Enemies that just alert other enemies.
Yeah. I agree with I agree with this in the idea that like when you're playing a game and you have a system where enemies can alert other enemies, but you take out that enemy and yet somehow everyone knows that that guy's dead, but there's no one else around. I think that falls under this. I didn't see anything like that with any of the other.
Oblivion.
Yeah, well, I mean, any game that employs like a wanted system or anything like that, like if I take out the person who would have reported me, I should not have been reported because they're dead.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think
That I agree with.
yeah.
But the example they give is literally them failing at stealth in Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, if you do that, you just get to kill more of them. And that is a good thing.
Yeah. Wolfenstein 2, killing's fun.
Yeah.
Also, man, that could be super taken out of context. Killing in a video game is fun.
I'll stand by whatever I said.
All right.
But
they have, yeah, they're referring to units that they're like commanders or something like that they just alert everybody else and call reinforcements and stuff like that. And what I was thinking, I mean, we can refer back to Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. They also had orcs that were specifically just torchbearers.
right.
No, it was like any of them. Any of them had the chance of being one, right?
Potentially go and ring the alarm, but you could just kill them to stop them.
Yep. Yeah.
And if you were really good at stealth, the enemy wouldn't notice you.
Yeah. But the game would also show you, like, with an icon above their head, like, which one it was. Like, they would never, like, disappear from view or anything like that. You could still see the torch, but you could also just see them.
Yeah.
And that's an alright way to do it.
Yeah.
Still annoying. Really annoying, because that detracts from, killing everybody else.
See, most of these things where it's like, oh, this is annoying. It's just like, oh, this has made the game more challenging.
Right.
So, just inherently, I think I'm more likely to disagree with most of the things.
Yeah.
Because challenging is good.
Yeah.
But you disagree with everything.
Oh yeah, that's because everyone else is wrong.
It's just on brand.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm back to agreeing with you.
Okay, next. If we were done with that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Enemies who
That's
just
relevant.
explode. I have one for each on this one.
Oh.
But you guys can
They are.
you guys can do it.
I mean,
If you got something,
I'm holding
man.
everybody in suspense because we're an hour in.
Oh.
okay. I'm fine with exploding enemies for the most part. It's more so the positioning of them. I don't like it if a game throws an exploding enemy at you in like a tight corridor where you can't do anything about it really. But as long as the game actually gives you the opportunity to deal with them at range, and there's like some kind of way to identify that, I'm completely fine with that. And as the big thing I think as well is that they're able to deal damage to other enemies when they explode.
Right.
That's important
'Cause-
too.
Yeah, because then they're an advantage a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So many of these, it's contextual. Like
Yeah.
most of these things, it's like, yeah, it's annoying, but like under certain context, depending on what game, it does make sense. Like I'm not just agreeing with Sarge at this point. Like it does just make sense in this. Like it's you can't just blanket, this is bad, don't do it anymore. It's like, no, it does work when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
It's exploding enemies. Like, I love how the picture is Serious Sam. It's like every other enemy in that game is an exploding enemy for no reason, and I've never even played it. But I know.
Yep. So they came up with the example of the cystoids in Prey. I forgot about them. They are pretty annoying, but they may not have also known that you can use the Nerf dart gun type thing to just detonate them. And they're usually in the 0G areas of the station. They're also relatively easy to see. The ones that I don't like at all, they can sneak up on you, so they don't make too much noise until they're really close. But Deep Rock Galactic is one example that has exploding enemies that I absolutely hate, and it's just the small exploders that make no noise whatsoever until they're right next to you and about to explode. So you have to jump away or get hit. And they don't do collateral to friendlies. So but then they have the bigger version, which is the detonator, which absolutely does collateral to everything, and it's huge. And that's the one that'll actually just straight up kill you if you're in the blast zone. The small exploders don't, but they just, they're annoying in that way. But also on the other side of it, like those were the annoying ones. On the other side of it, the ones that are done pretty well are the Suiciders, the Super Mutant Suiciders in Fallout 4. Because you can hear them across the city, pretty much. And you have a way to take them out at range by shooting their right arm.
Yeah.
That'll just
kill them.
Yeah, that'll just detonate the mini nuke, and you don't have to deal with them. And I'm pretty sure they do damage to friendlies too, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So that's just like everything that you want in an exploding enemy wrapped up into one. You know where they're coming from. They have a weak spot. They'll do collateral to their friends. Like that's the criteria I think most people want with exploding enemies.
Yeah.
Just do that. Just do that, developers. Hire Sarge. Sarge would have said it if I didn't.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, brute enemies and their continued existence.
Yeah, so apparently these are the ones that, like, run into walls, get staggered, and then you punch them.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't really deal with much. Like, they're not in the games I tend to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of specific. I mean, they show a picture. It looks like Batman fighting one of those big dudes. It's Bane or Croc or someone, I don't know. But that's, again,
it's a big boy.
That makes sense in that context, though, because the, like, specific supervillains are just brutes, like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I think this is just another example of not every game employs brutes, but where they are employed, it mostly makes sense sometimes. So I don't know. There are always going to be Goliaths to somebody's David, like David and Goliath situation. There's always going to be the big brute to your smaller agile. It's just that's just life. I don't have a problem with this.
Okay. I'm gonna put caveat on it for either argument, for or against brute enemies, because there are some well-done brute enemies. The example they used in this PC Gamer thing, Samuel Roberts, I'm calling you out, was Dying Light, and they're hammer-wielding brute enemies, which he's referring to the goon. If you have a crossbow, you can just shoot it in the head. Couple crossbow shots. They're very slow, and they're just taken care of. If you want to melee them, it's going to be a bit more tedious. You're going to have to dodge around a lot more. They're not particularly bad. Just a little bit of pattern recognition.
Patterns.
I know the thing you hate. Now, when it comes to the demolishers, which are the really big ones, which like throw cars at you and crap, those ones are tedious, and I hate fighting them. And I understand. Because if you go on any harder difficulties, they become near impossible, and I'd rather skip them, kind of thing. But that's for me. That's my own personal experience with them. And then you can go like completely in the Fallout 3 DLC direction with broken steel enemies and just sponge the crap out of them. And that's the kind of brute enemy I just abhor in any game, where nothing is effective against them. You just have to use a lot of bullets, a lot of explosives, a lot of something to take them down. And it's just a time sink at that point. Like, I don't like that kind of brute enemy. I'm glad they're showing less and less in video games. Because that kind is lazy development.
Sponges.
Sponges.
Sponges are bad.
Very bad. I'd rather do the pattern thing, to be honest. Sorry, Jared.
Whatever, man.
Apparently shields are quite bad too, though.
Yeah.
Apparently. What's that one, Sarge?
Oh, damn. Enemies who carry shields that can't be broken with regular attacks.
Yeah.
You jump over them, and then you stab them from behind. Or you dodge around them and backstab them.
Yep. I can't think
I'm
of
all
a
on board
game
with them.
that's I feel like a better one would have been immunity phases that last too long.
Immunity phases, yeah, those can be annoying.
Yeah.
Shields, that's just a mechanic to work around.
Yeah.
I do feel like this article, the longer we spend on it, the more it feels just like, come on, people.
Yeah.
Games are supposed to be somewhat challenging.
Just get good.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Come on, scrubs. Get on my level. Pfuh.
Enemies who appear dead and then grab you. I didn't give you a
mean-
chance, Jared. Did you feel the same way about the shields?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
No, I can't help but agree with what Sarge said though. It's like if you took this article and it's like, okay, we're going to create the ideal like enemy, they're just gonna stand there and let you kill them according to this article.
Yeah.
Because all the things that game developers use in order to change up the challenge or give you a challenge or give you something to work around or whatever, they don't like it. It's just like, okay, let's let the enemy stand there and let us kill them in one hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And this is generally like, I think, yeah, Samuel once again admits that you need to use a shield break attack in order to disarm enemies before slicing them up. That's a mechanic they put in the game in Assassin's Creed Odyssey to just rip a shield away from somebody, and then you can unleash heck on them. Like, they give you the tools to actually deal with it, but it sounds like he just refused to use that tool.
well, it's like, and shields as a design of shields are meant to shield the wielder from attacks. Weird.
And it's not like it's not historically accurate. This is freaking Greek
like
mythology time.
It's depending on the shield, it could be made of wood or it could be made of wicker, but it could be made of bronze or steel or iron. I mean, that stuff doesn't just fall to a single attack from a similarly material weapon of similar materials. Two metals against each other don't just fall to pieces. That's hard. It takes many hits. Or, like Sarge said, moving around them, being more agile. It's all about balance.
Or, in the case of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, a magical spear.
Or that. We all have access to those.
Magical spear tip. Weird. Leonidas used it. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. I saw 300. Definitely had one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like an artifact in Odyssey. It's pretty great.
I mean, Odyssey's a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
and
is.
I don't remember having any issues with shields.
No,
like
me neither.
ever.
No.
So.
No. The bounty hunters got pretty annoying after a while. Because talk about freaking knowing exactly where you are all the time.
Yeah.
The hunters did. Or bounty hunters.
Mm-hmm.
That got, if you're trying to do anything, they would just show up and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, you hear that horn and you're like, "Oh crap!
I'm gonna wreck your day." Like 4 of them show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, an actually annoying thing is omniscient enemies.
Omniscient.
Oh yeah.
All-knowing.
Oh yeah.
Because then you just have to deal with them on their terms, and there's no way you can really play around it.
And the last one, Jared. What's the last one?
Enemies who appear dead then grab you, the wankers.
Cheap jump scare.
Yeah.
If it works. A lot of the time,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in a lot of the games I've played, I usually shoot first when it comes to corpses
Yep.
that are in, positions that they could get up from. They did I want to give credit to Fallout 4, where they did some pretty fun, interesting ways for getting ghouls to come out of the woodwork and drop from the ceiling and stuff like that. So that you just don't know. And then they drop down and you're like, ghouls.
Right. And it kind of makes sense for ghouls because they're meant to be creepy, zombie-looking horror, a little bit of horror
They
aspect.
also don't
to it.
just instantly grab you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They crawl out of a wall, so if you see them, you get the chance to stop them. But if you're just sprinting through not paying attention, then they have the chance to sneak up on you. But they kind of have to earn it.
I say,
Yeah.
to be fair, there's not really that many games where enemies appear dead and then physically grab you. There are instances where enemies appear dead, then they are suddenly not dead and they're coming for you, but very rarely that they just instantly grab you and put you in a position where, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I can't think
I feel
of...
like Resident Evil's had a few of them in the past.
Yeah.
Or
I know
like
Dying Light did it
Amnesia, I
at
think,
least
as
once.
well. Yeah.
Zombie games probably do it pretty frequently. I think it's
But
a
it
bit of a
makes
trope.
sense for zombies. That's what
Yeah,
they
it's
do.
almost like a lot of the time it's almost the enemy getting cutscene powers. Because if you have the opportunity to like shoot them in the head or stop them or activate them before you get to them, and it works,
Right.
great.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's just like, hey, we've decided to give you no equipment, nothing to possibly stop this person, and even if you're like 99% sure that the thing that's appearing dead is alive, this is just going to happen the same no matter what.
Yeah. There was one, at least a couple actually, in Dying Light where you would go into like an apartment building or something like that. You'd be searching for some sort of MacGuffin, something or other. And you would go into a room where there would be just a whole bunch of corpses everywhere. And as per the usual with a zombie game. And you could tell that something was going to happen because if you tried to shoot them or anything like that, your bullets and weapons would just clip through them. Like nothing would happen. Up until that point, it kind of tricked you into thinking that, some of the corpses are just uninteractable. But a lot of these were a lot more intact, actual, zombie models. So you're just like, something's probably going to happen before it actually happens.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's kind of annoying, but I wouldn't say it's like the worst.
But I also don't feel like it's a mechanic that's overused that necessarily needs to be on a list of things that games just need to stop doing. Because,
Yeah.
it doesn't really happen in all games or very many games. I mean, you mentioned one, they mentioned one. That doesn't mean it's a thing. I don't know. I think it just falls in line with the rest of this article. It's just being like, it kind of can suck with these specific instances, but overall, it's not really an issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
4 out of 10. Article could do a lot more work.
Yeah. Samuel Roberts, he may have just been scraping the bottom of the barrel. He did quite a few of these. And it was Christopher Livingston and Tim Clark up towards the top. Fun conversation starter at the very least.
It's a nice
that
opinion piece.
helped come up with the topic, which we can now move on to. Yay! I don't know how much more we feel like complaining. I'm sure we can rustle up some more complaints.
We could do a little.
We are the experts at complaining.
If anything comes to mind, please comment below what annoying things in Fallout that we don't really want anymore. Who wants to start?
Legendaries can do many things that I'm not allowed to say on the PIPCAST.
You want to elaborate on that, Sarge? I know you have so much rant energy about this.
The legendary system is broken. I told them how to fix it. They might be fixing it, but even if they fix it, I think it's still going to be broken. Legendaries suck. Uniques are cool. Unique weapons, we can have a story behind them, they can have some real presence, they can actually matter. Legendaries are just throwing around some random numbers and giving you the opportunity to get something amazing or terrible, not based off of skill, just based purely off of luck. Not even in-game luck, just complete RNG luck. And that's stupid. That's not how RNG should be used in games. It's basically just surprise mechanics without the payment, and surprise mechanics on their own are not good enough. It's trash. I hate it. That's it.
Well said.
Nice.
I agree.
I agree. Everyone agrees.
Woohoo!
Yeah, because I
To be
want
fair.
real uniques too.
Yeah, to be fair, I understand why they do it in Fallout 76. Because it's to keep people going. It's a constant case of, oh, I need to get this thing, or oh, I want to get this thing. And when you've got a 0.00003% chance of getting it, then yeah, it's going to take you ages and keep you playing the game until you get it or get bored because you've killed like 20 legendary Deathclaws, 500 legendary Rad Stags, dozen legendary Rad Roaches or whatever, and you keep getting trash that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it sucks. Bethesda, remove the legendary system, or at the very least, do not include it in Fallout 5, or else I will be having words.
Yeah. So many words.
You have been
Sarge
warned.
Sarge writes them, if you didn't know.
Yeah, I do. Man, are they harsh but fair.
Man.
I got one if
Something-
you need time.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to workshop a little bit
That's
in
fine.
my brain.
For me, specifically, hacking. I hate it. It's stupid.
Oh.
It doesn't. I'm gonna echo Sarge's frustration here. It doesn't make sense. It's an unrealistic portrayal of hacking. Not that I've done it, but just choosing random words and hoping that it's the password is not how hacking works, and is a really bad security measure. It destroys the pacing of a game that is shoot, action, but now I've got to stop. The world freezes around me while I get lucky. And I mean, there's a system, I guess, like, oh, there's this many letters that are right. Who freaking cares? This is stupid and I don't want to do it. It's the one mechanic in a game that I will mod out. Like, I don't mod stuff out because I feel like it's cheating. Or if I do add mods, it's for lore purposes and whatnot. Or immersion.
Yeah.
But hacking is one of the ones that I will mod so that I don't have to do it. Because the very act of doing it detracts from the enjoyment of the game. I mean, I think that hacking should be there, but maybe it needs to be done differently, or I don't know.
Do you want me to quickly come up with how to improve hacking?
Do it.
Because I've already worked it out based off what you said about how it's not like real hacking.
Yeah.
But you can do the social engineering side of it, where if you are going to a terminal, it'll be like at someone's house or something like that, and there could be a clue around the property, because most people's like passwords and stuff are somewhat related to them.
Yeah.
So if you can find certain things like, oh, this person's child is named this and was born that, it'd be like Amy0217 kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that will be on the list of words that are on there. And you could do it that way.
For sure. Yeah, I'm down with that. Little bit of investigation.
Yep, there you go, Bethesda.
Yep.
Fix your games.
Done it.
Please
Yeah.
pay me.
The Deus Ex games have been doing it for ages, where you just, as you were saying, just look around the property, see if you can find something. And Deus Ex would have four number key presses, just that kind of thing.
Or if you do the number key presses as well, maybe you could have like videos of people when they've been pressing the keys, but you can't see it, but you can hear it because keys have different tones to them.
Right.
Oh,
There's
that'd be fun.
definitely potential.
Pro tip, anyone, if you want to break into buildings, just hang around near the entrance and get used to the sound of
Beep, beep, boop,
what
bop.
the entrance code is.
Yeah. Because
That'd be
everything
cool.
uses dial tone still.
Yep.
Yep. It's not every single one is a uniform tone, so people can't do that.
No.
Or no sounds.
No, a lot of the old ones have the different tones still. So if you're in like an old apartment building or something, it's boop, 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 boop,
It would still work in
boop,
universe
boop.
because it's
That's
retro
a long
future.
code.
So
I'm not okay.
Well, no, that's for 9 different ones. I didn't
Oh.
do 0 as well, but that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Gotcha.
And then you just differentiate it based on the sound.
I think hacking has its place. It just needs to be done differently. More variety would be nice. But with the way it is now, it needs to die.
whoa.
Yeah, I went there. That's
Mm.
probably my biggest thing. That was the first thing that popped into my head when this topic was mentioned. That was literally the first thing. So that's it.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Okay. After 76 came out, one of the first things I didn't want in Fallout anymore was burrowing enemies.
Okay.
But it's probably due to latency and how they act based on being in an online environment.
Yeah.
That breaks them further. Because, like, they did some broken bullcrap in Fallout 4, but you could still tell where they were going to be most of the time. Whereas in 76, they are straight up teleporting all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And
it is a bit excessive.
I don't like burrowing enemies in 76 at all.
That's fair.
And some of them hurt really bad.
Man, imagine if the Yaguais could burrow.
Oh god.
Ooh.
No, they would be responsible for so many player deaths.
Yep.
I promise that.
That's a pretty large creature to be burrowing. That would be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
You would hear it like a mile away.
Just see, like, rumbling ground coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's nothing you can do as the Yaguai approaches. Hits you once, staggers you, hits you again, staggers you, never stops hitting you or staggering you.
Stun lock. Stun lock. Stun
That's
lock.
my favorite. Can we? That's the perfect segue into the next one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perma stagger.
The staggering. Oh my god. The Yaguais are the worst.
Yeah.
I think Fallout 4 you could actually time your blocks. And I don't think it staggered you as aggressively as it does in 76. But, you know, getting stagger locked by any enemy is just absolutely frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Which means, in a way, that not all situations were considered when it came to characters and how they interact with different enemies. And I think Melee's, up until, I mean, it's still taken second stage in some aspects. It takes second stage in a lot of the games where not every situation is considered, which brings us to the Yaguai and getting like full second long staggers that gives them a window to attack you again and repeat the process until you're dead.
Yeah.
Which is real fun. It's fun gameplay. So fun.
What if they had a thing where, like, if you got staggered, but then you couldn't get staggered again for, like, you know, like, oh, it can't happen more than once in a 10-second span. So, like, you get staggered
I
once.
think that's a very simple way to solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a simple way to solve it.
Pay
It
me
hasn't-
too.
The stagger mechanic's
But-
still a cool thing.
Pay me
Yeah.
too.
Pay all of
Throw
us.
a bit cash in as well. I think even if you just made it like, you could probably limit it to even just you can't be staggered more than once in 3 seconds, and that
Yeah.
would still give you a window to deal with things.
Yeah.
Like, it's just literally stopping you from going into one stagger and not getting the chance to go out before he gets hit again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an annoying thing. Not just in Fallout,
Oh, yeah.
but just in gaming in general. See, that's one of the things that PC Gamer article should have
Yeah.
actually had.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I can extend this to Skyrim as well.
okay.
I have another one. Can I do another one?
Do it.
No,
You in the back.
me, pick me. Enemies getting automatic finishers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, power attacks in Skyrim are broken
yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
Oh,
They
it
are.
is so frustrating.
Uh.
When you're at, like, half health, and just, like, some dude with an iron warhammer just goes, now I'll power attack you and you'll die.
Yeah, you just die, and it happens in Fallout 4 as well. The enemies do have their melee, quick melee gun attacks and stuff like that. There was, I think it was my 2-timer playthrough fairly early on, and I just got my throat ripped out by a dog that I didn't see. Like, it just happened. I did. I was behind cover. Dog showed up. I died. Like, that kind of crap. Like, players being allowed to do it is cool and cinematic and all that stuff. Like, we already have the VAT system in the Fallout games. It's really cool. Finishers are great if they're fair across the board, and I don't know how you would make that fair.
Under 10% health. It's the only time finishers can happen.
I think that would be I mean, obviously, that would be a lot more easy to justify the NPCs finishing you off, but
Yeah.
there's no protection for that. You have, like, Skyrim as an example. During my ultimate leveling guide that I made, I specifically added in a warning for players that are leveling their armor or armor in general and keeping themselves protected, because if you're playing on higher difficulties, enemies don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care at all what your health is at. If they can finish you with a power attack when you're not blocking, they'll kill you anyway, because they'll get that kill move and you'll just die, like get decapitated or something.
But if you make it where you have to be like super low health before it can happen, you're at least already resigned to the fact that you're probably going to die.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel so much like you just got cheated out of half a health bar.
Yeah. And it feels like that too. Every single time in Sky. You've played more legendary. Sorry, Jared. You've played more legendary difficulty than I've ever played, I think, Sarge. So you probably have more intimate understanding of getting finished.
I mean, to be honest, I probably didn't have it happen too much on legendary difficulty, because back when I played on that difficulty, I was actually really good at Skyrim. I think it happens more to me now that I spent time away from a game, and I'll sometimes crank up the difficulty, and then won't realise that my health is going down, and I'll have taken a couple of hits, and then I go, I better heal up soon, but I'm already in a finisher, because someone had a two-handed weapon.
Yep.
See, I'm okay with... I like the, like, if you get down to 10%, but I think it might also be benefit extra to implore, or excuse me, to implement your traditional sort of D&D rule, like, and for example, you're below 10% health, but they still need to roll like a invisible dice between 1 and 10. If it's anything 1 or 5, they kill you. If it's 5 or 10, they miss, because I still think that there's a benefit for having that chance of surviving. You're down to 10% health. You're on the edge of life and death, but you somehow managed to come out on top because you just implored your skills better than they did. They still have a chance of killing you at that little, but I still think that you deserve a chance for that second wind or that last-ditch effort to come out on top. And I think that's where the invisible dice roll could come in. Because, I mean, RPG, that's role-playing game, and when it comes down to it, it's invisible dice being rolled somewhere in the code. So
I like that.
Well, there's already a fair few developers that do that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I always remember is Uncharted. When you're low on health, the enemies start missing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
There's already a lot of that stuff that does happen behind the scenes, like sneaky ways to make it so you've got a better chance of surviving when you're really badly hurt.
Yep, totally.
Which is a cool thing that game developers do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smart games.
Something I would want to add to that, if we're just piling mechanics on top of mechanics, and why aren't they hiring us? That would add another. That could add another cool set of animations too for your death saving throw or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the orc shows up and blocks their blade and pushes them away.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. Or like you're about to get the axe, and then you do a little clever dodge and kick it out of his hands or something like that.
Yeah.
Could be other perks you can add to that, man.
Yeah.
There's so many things.
You could add actual perks as well.
Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool. Because that way you can build your character with like defensive things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, good perks. Another annoying thing in Fallout games, as a small side tangent to it. Yeah, bad perks. Basic damage perks suck. Give me perks that actually change more than just the numbers. Like, oh, here's plus 20 health. Oh, here's plus 10% damage. That stuff, boring.
Yeah. Those are the
ones
most egregious, and the item weight reduction ones. Like, there's too many of those in 76 especially, but most of them.
Too many of those, plus none for rifles, which are like the heaviest weapons. It's ridiculous.
The weight reduction. Yeah.
You should only get those perks from items, like plus health from an armor piece, plus damage to a weapon mod. And yeah, you're right. Like, perks should be way cooler than that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one perk that is really cool and that I hate because my live stream chat is terrible is like the cannibal perk. which fundamentally changes how you're playing and really impacts your character, because it's like a unique mechanic that comes about from unlocking a perk.
Mm-hmm.
But in Fallout 76, if you want to play as like an automatic rifle build, oh, guess what? You're spending 6 of your perk points and 6 points in perception in order just to deal more damage with auto rifles.
Yeah.
Great. That's a fun way to build a character. Oh, what, you mean literally every other person playing with automatic rifles has these exact same perks because they're basically essential? Oh, well, isn't that a fun and unique thing to do?
Mm-hmm. If I can tack onto that the skill increase ones from like Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah.
Any of the ones that are just like, oh, you get +5, +10, +15 to this particular skill. You could have just put skill points into it, but no, here's a perk.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's a dumb,
pretty boring.
dumb implementation of a perk. I
find it's very rare they get picked, because at least there are plenty of good choices.
Yeah, and there are
essential.
like even at the very beginning of the game, I know like Daddy's Boy or Daddy's Girl, whatever that perk is. You actually there is actually dialogue options sometimes that come along with it in the story, but you also have like the intense training, I think, like right off the bat, so you can just start pumping your attributes. New Vegas got a little bit more creative with their first perks, but it was also every 2 levels instead of every level, which made it a lot more important.
Yeah, helps a lot with not having to like pad out the perks too.
Yeah, that is nice, and they added more with DLCs as well. I think. Yeah, Fallout 3 did as well. But those were so generic and boring. There was 2 for attributes. There was one for all attributes to 5, and then all attributes to 9. It was it's so dumb.
Like no weakness and almost perfect, I think it was.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't hate those perks. They're just like an upgraded version of intense training, but you get at higher levels.
Yeah, I was just hoping for something better.
Less egregious ones.
Towards level 30, because beyond that, it was more like just karma related ones, which most people don't care at that point, unless you're going for a specific achievement. I think achievements in general suck.
Yeah.
That's annoying things in every game.
Get 'em.
Fake points. I need my fake points.
Okay. You can get your fake points. I just hate them.
Get them.
To be fair, I'm kind of annoyed with my Skyrim achievements, because I've completed all of them, just not across like one playthrough or on one platform. So if I check Steam right now, I'm missing 24 achievements, despite having done literally everything in Skyrim already.
Yep.
That bugs me.
I got a gripe.
What?
If we want to do more.
Do it.
If we want to do more.
Yes.
Okay.
Do more.
And this one isn't necessarily exclusive to Fallout, but it definitely is a thing in Fallout. It's like in Fallout, like it's post-apocalyptic. The world's over and people are surviving and killing each other, and horrible people all over the place. But every time you walk into a town, they're like, "Hi there." I didn't even talk to you yet. Hi. You just get near them and they're like, "Hello there." Like, no, you don't know me. I might take your stuff. I want more suspicion. I want more distrust between NPCs that I've never met and myself. They just automatically want to start up a conversation and tell you their life story and then give you rewards for doing, menial tasks and stuff. It's just like, I understand it's just like, that's just the game and you get quests and blah, blah, blah. It's not, but just like the instant, as soon as you get in proximity to an NPC, they're just like, "Want to be my friend? Here's some information." I don't know. Like I said, it's not exclusive to Fallout. Lots of games implore that sort of proximity recognition thing.
Yeah.
So, but I just feel like in Fallout specifically is a little bit more annoying because, again, it's post-apocalyptic. Everyone's out for themselves. Your neighbor might stab you in the back and take all your possessions. They might not, but you don't know because it's survival of the fittest. It's Darwinism.
Well, I actually make the point in like a future upcoming video that Fallout has kind of become post-apocalypse rather than post-apocalypse because of basically what you say there, where yeah, it's no longer quite how it was with the survival of the fittest and everyone distrusting one another. People have started building up civilization again, and it's becoming closer to polite society.
Yep.
I suppose.
Which isn't necessarily a good thing. Because technically, all of humanity was living in a post-apocalypse. Technically. But it obviously became post-apocalypse because we built stuff up and it didn't feel like apocalypse anymore.
So I guess
Fair
in
enough.
Fallout 5 we're just gonna have to drop nukes on ourselves again. Is that kind of what I'm?
No,
Well,
write
I'm
a
getting-
better story for Fallout 5.
Okay.
Just give me like a year or two.
All right.
Might take me a while.
I look forward to it.
We'll definitely have Fallout 5 by then, though. Come on. Definitely.
No, I'm writing it beforehand. It's fine. I'm writing it. That way everyone can, like, tweet at Bethesda, hey, watch this amazing video BADCompanySarge made where he writes your entire game for you. And then they'll be like, wow, this guy seems really cool and awesome and everyone loves him because he's so great.
Yeah.
We should throw tons of money at him to make this game and give him a cameo and stuff.
Boom.
They definitely won't just take your idea.
No, we definitely won't. It's not going to be a legendary crafting where they just do the exact thing I said 3 years ago. No.
Why do you think
Not
there
what's
is
gonna happen.
the creation kit and creation club and all that stuff? So the fans can come up with all the stuff that they should be doing so that they can, in the next game, do it and claim it was their idea.
Oh man. Please, anyone listening, make sure you've been listening to our previous topics before you jump in and target Jared's throat.
Hey, what do you mean? What did I say that was so bad? I called a corporation a corporation. I'm sorry. I take it back. Bethesda does nothing bad. They're perfect. They only are honorable. There, you happy now?
Obsidian sucks. Okay, we're balanced out.
Oh, there we go. Whew.
Yeah,
I feel like everything's normal again.
we're good. Everything's back the way it should be.
What's that?
I know one that Sarge won't agree with me on.
Ooh. Oh, do.
Dog companions, particularly in Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, Caedo is just wrong. If everyone would like to just go ahead and dislike the PIPCAST, I'm cool with that, you know.
Dang.
It's fair.
Dog meets AI is stupid.
Dog meat is beautiful and amazing, and you should love him like everyone else does.
Yeah.
No.
I agree. I'm sorry. I agree with Sarge.
Okay.
Yeah. I figured.
I like dogs.
Yeah.
I like
Dogs
dogs
are the
too.
best.
But Dog
Hey,
meets AI is dumb.
I've streamed Fallout 4 recently.
There's
and
something
several
wrong with that
times
boy's
Dog
brain.
Meat has come over to be nice and just brighten up the chat by coming over and just looking all cute and standing in front of me, just panting and smiling a bit and wagging his tail.
Aw.
And it's good.
How can you be upset with that?
Yeah. And you know what? He's not caused me a single problem. I can't remember the last time he caused me any actual issues.
Oh, good.
He's found me ammo, he's found me weapons, he's brightened my mood,
Oh, good.
he's fought ghouls off so I can shoot them with a shotgun and they don't attack me. He is great.
I would probably enjoy a dog companion more in Fallout 5
If you were a better person.
if I was a better person and if Dog Meat were able to pick up more than one item at a time.
He's a dog.
You can't pick up more than one item at a time.
You can store equipment on him. Where does it go?
Oh, I
Tell
see.
me where it goes.
That's different.
He's just
That's
super dog.
different.
No, him picking up items and you giving him items to hold. Like, yeah, they could. They're like, not to mention mods, but they could employ like sort of like a dog backpack. It's a real thing in combat.
I know.
In dogs.
I know.
But as far as a dog picking up an item, they don't have hands. They have only a mouth. They can only pick up one item at a time.
Well,
They
you
can't
could
put items
implement
in their own bags. They're dogs.
a little dog basket.
Yes, I'm down for that.
Come on.
Dog baskets.
Dog Meat and Dr. Madison Lee. Watch my worst NPCs list. That's most of them. I should have done one for each game, to be honest. If I were to go back, I still might.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Get those extra clicks.
Yeah.
Clickety click click click.
I just hate lists.
Top 5 worst NPCs in the first 20 minutes of Fallout 4.
Just everyone in Sanctuary.
Pretty much.
Make it very clear that I didn't play the game at all.
Yeah.
So any more annoying things? I think I'm out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should just wrap this up.
Okay. So let's move on to the things we're doing and playing and doing. Tell us in the comments, if you're still listening, if you're not tired of us yet, what you're playing. Video game, or watching, or reading, or whatever. Hey Jared,
Yo,
what have you been playing?
let me tell you, an eclectic collection of very unique and different games. Actually, just Valheim. Let's not beat around the bush.
Yep.
I've literally played nothing else but Valheim in my free time.
Sweet.
So,
How's
finished
your little seaside base?
finished my wall. You got to come by and see it. Yeah,
Not today, but definitely want to come see it.
yeah. That's pretty much it.
Maybe after the Borderlands thing.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I guess other than the usual games that I play for videos and stuff, which is just indie and horror games, but I don't really count those. I count the games that I play for myself, and it's Valheim, and nothing else.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's me.
Sarge, you should talk about what you've been playing, because you've been playing a new game.
I have. I tried out Magic Legends.
Oh!
And I will say right now, it is a great mobile game, but it's not on mobile, it's on PC and console. You click where you want to move, you click on enemies to attack them. You can't use WASD to move the camera or move your character,
Oh.
and it is a nightmare to wander around and hit stuff. And the starting area, at the very least, because I didn't make it very far, is very linear, and if you miss the first objective, then clearing the other ones doesn't actually happen. And everyone in the chat, because it's an always online thing as well, was just spamming random stuff. But other than it sucking, it's not that bad.
Wow.
It's a nightmare, but it's not that bad.
It's just not very good. Okay, the animations as well, the mouths do not match up at all with the voice lines.
Oh.
And, like, I was thinking, okay, maybe it was made for a different language, but they keep moving so long after that I'm not sure what language it could possibly be. That takes, like, twice as many words as English.
I think it's like the classic StarCraft pre-rendered, just mouth moving, bad thing.
Probably. It's quite bad. The characters aren't particularly interesting. There's
Great.
potential for the mechanics of, like, the deck building to be kind of cool. That is somewhat interesting, but because everything else sucks, I don't think it's going to get that far.
Dang.
Also, apparently the monetization's pretty egregious, so...
Great.
Yeah.
It's like a
But-
1-2 punch. Bad game,
Yeah.
microtransactions.
Yep. Because that game sucked, I beat 2 good games in one day.
Nice.
I finished off Wolfenstein: The New Order, which was pretty cool. Had some fun boss fights at the end.
Yeah.
Where I had to learn the patterns.
Yeah.
And Portal as well. Where really annoyingly, I lost the final boss fight in Portal because... Okay, I'm going to give spoilers now. Spoilers for anyone who's not beat Portal and doesn't want to know how the game ends.
Oh no, I got to mute. Just kidding.
Yep. But, yeah, in the game you, like, get rid of 3 cores out of Gladys and you ditch them into this, like, furnace thing. And you have to shoot them basically through a portal in order to ditch them in there. I basically dropped one through a portal to go in the furnace with, like, a couple of seconds left. And it looked like it was going in, but then it bounced off the rim and just kind of got stuck. And then the thing just closed before it rolled back in. And it was like, ooh, you lost. Which was very frustrating. But I still beat the game.
Okay.
'Cause first try I lost by like a couple of seconds through bad luck. So second try when I actually knew what I had to do, it was pretty simple. And I beat the game, and I got told about cake. Which is fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. Plus, other game I've been playing, Total War Warhammer 2, actually had another Lord come in as free DLC, and he's kind of stupidly strong and badass. So, had fun playing as him.
Nice.
He has monsters.
Oh.
And just finds them constantly everywhere in everything he does. So you kind of just end up with a horde of monsters available to be recruited by, like, turn 10 or whatever.
Oh, fun.
Which is kind of broken.
So what kind of monsters?
You get hydras, you get dragons, you get mammoths, you get harpies, you get... I don't know the names of a lot of them. You get squigs, lots of squigs, giant wolves, just so many monsters. Plus
monsters.
his abilities make monsters stronger and more powerful. So, yeah. There's just a ridiculous number of monsters for a faction that was already, or for a race gets another faction, and the race itself was already pretty strong. Generally, like, in the top 3 power ranking, they'd end up. And now they've just got something even better.
Awesome. So I guess I should talk about what I've been doing, huh?
Yeah?
Well, I just finished and uploaded and am showing on Saturday. That would be yesterday, if you're listening to this. Highlights of our shenanigans in Borderlands 2. There is more to come, for sure. I grabbed only the best ones. It's about 20 minutes worth, and there's going to be more.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sarge is funny. Eddie's really funny. Jared's funny. I'm funny looking. It's a great time.
Yeah.
Also, what I've been playing. End Zone, A World Apart. It is another city builder type post-apocalyptic game that I've been trying. Patron Jade got it for me, which was very kind. Thank you, Jade. And yeah, it's pretty fun. It's a lot more macro-y than micro than the other city builder one that I talked about before and forget the name. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more chill, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Played both of the Outer Worlds DLCs, Peril on Gorgon
Were they good?
and Murder on Eridanos, which is the newest one. Peril on Gorgon was okay. It was just more the Outer Worlds, kind of felt like. Had a fun little twist at the end. There was something going on, like I was trying to piece it together. But I found out that, like, when I started playing the next DLC, it kind of had a similar twist, which I maybe they just like doing that or something. Maybe that's just like Obsidian's thing that they like to do. But it was kind of annoying that they use it in both the story DLCs.
Yeah.
Because then you were just like, well, I'm glad I, took it to the end, but this feels really familiar. But it had some really funny dialogue moments and stuff like that. Also, I found out that the Epic Game Store's cloud sucks for storing saves. Most of my saves were gone. It only had like 10 save slots or something like that from the Outer Worlds. So I only had my main character that I was redoing the game with, I guess, or something. I don't know. But my dumb character was completely gone. My female character was completely gone. Like, the stuff that I used to record and or stream Outer Worlds content were just gone completely. So that part kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the character I did still have had only a few levels to go to be able to do the DLCs without dying often. So that was good. And then Civ 6 with roommate Kite. We played the crap out of some Civ 6. Just a quick game. Probably about 3 campaigns worth. The first one was really fast. It took us like 2 hours to finish that game.
Okay.
And then we're like, well, we probably got to jack up the difficulty because we're getting pretty good. So now we did a second round, which took us a couple of days-ish. About 10 hours. Maybe more. Civ does this funny thing where they don't show you the allotted, or the playtime of your game after you beat it. Probably because they don't want their players to stop playing it after realizing that they've spent 10 to 20 hours on one campaign or more. Also realized that 2K did some pretty shady stuff with their DLCs. We complained to Sarge about this yesterday. All of the leaders that you can choose so many different leaders of different civilizations in Civ 6. When you select the drop down, you can pick a leader, but some of the leaders are DLC, and it doesn't tell you that they're DLC until you select them. So you're going down through this list, and if you see a leader that has, a cool tooltip where they have text that you really want that's really awesome and stuff like that, it doesn't actually tell you that you can't use them until you select them. And then, of course, you have to purchase the DLC to get that leader. And that's gross. I don't think anybody should do that. That's gross. And we also ended up getting the leaders pack from last season. And then we find out that this season also has a $30 one that the leaders are already present in the game, but we have to buy that too to use them. So kind of up in the air. Probably gonna wait for a sale on those ones. I don't want to spend that much to pay to win. So
What?
Yeah.
yeah.
My pay to win was free.
Yeah.
They just gave the Lord away.
It's that weird gray area too, because all of the civilizations, most of them are like all in the game. This is just implementing different leaders for those civilizations with different bonuses.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like people playing competitive multiplayer, you have to be updated with your game. You have to have all the DLCs. That's exactly what pay to win is. Which is gross. Publishers, stop doing that. Developers, make a noise about it. I don't know. Anyway, I play more Valheim too.
No.
Eddie streamed it a couple times. I joined his server, donated more stone to his elaborate city thing. Placed a little octagonal shack in his community, one of his community plots.
Nice.
That's pretty much it, I think. And I turned 34.
No.
Happy birthday.
Yay! Thank you.
Congrats.
I want to show you guys that. I can't show it to everybody else. I showed Sarge and Jared my super awesome gift from Kite. It's a Zack Fair print of him leaning up against the Buster Sword. Any Final Fantasy VII fan will know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's freaking awesome, and it's gonna go up on my wall when it's late enough into the day where hammering a nail into it won't wake everybody up, which is probably about now. So yeah, that's it. That's all.
Cool.
Sarge, would you mind doing the outro?
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of the PIPCAST 3000. Remember, this is a bi-weekly podcast, so in 2 weeks, same time, be back here. And it'll be much better, because we'll be awake then. If you haven't already, check out the streams on my channel, where we've been playing through Borderlands 2. Check out Jared's channel, where he's been playing the horror games and indie games. And you're already on Caedo's channel, so congratulations, you've already checked it out. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye.
Bye!